Ever wonder why your wheelchair keeps getting damaged every time you fly? Think those frequent delays and uncomfortable seats are just part of aging travel? Wrong. The airline industry is hiding some shocking truths about how they really treat senior passengers, and the statistics from 2025 will make your blood boil. I'm about to expose the 7 worst airlines for seniors right now, plus reveal the hidden practices they don't want you discovering. Let's go. Frontier Airlines, the complaint champion. You walk up to that bright yellow Frontier plane thinking you scored a great deal with their 55% senior discount. Perfect way to save money on your Florida retirement trip, right? Wrong. Here's what they don't tell you. Frontier Airlines just earned the worst customer service record in America for the 3rd straight year. According to the latest Department of Transportation data, Frontier had nearly double the number of complaints per 100,000 passengers compared to Spirit Airlines, which came in second, and more than triple the average across the 10 largest U.S. airlines. Think about that. They're literally 3 times worse than the industry standard. But here's the kicker. Frontier was also among the top airlines for flight cancellations, delays, mishandled wheelchairs, and involuntarily bumped passengers. When you're dealing with mobility issues or just need reliable service, this is a nightmare scenario waiting to happen. Here's what's really shocking. That 55% discount they advertise for passengers 55 and older, the discount excludes certain fare classes, including J, N, I, C, R, Y, B, and H fares, which are typically their highest priced options anyway. They also have extensive blackout dates, including October 11th through 14th, November 11th through 12th, 26th through 27th, 30th, and most of December. These are exactly the times when seniors want to visit family for holidays. Wrong to think their customer service will help when things go wrong. Passengers consistently report that 47% of Frontier passengers receive no explanation for delays or information about their rights. When you're a senior dealing with medication schedules or mobility concerns, being left in the dark about flight changes isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. But it gets worse. Frontier's seat comfort ratings earn just 2 stars across the board. Their boarding process is chaotic, with seniors often struggling to navigate the lack of organization. The cabin environment frequently has leftover trash from previous flights, creating unsanitary conditions that can be particularly problematic for seniors with compromised immune systems. The most shocking part? Frontier's The New Frontier marketing campaign promises transparency and improved customer service, but industry data shows they're getting worse, not better. They're spending money on marketing while their actual service deteriorates. What to do? If you absolutely must fly Frontier, book direct routes only. Arrive at the airport 3 hours early and pack essential medications in carry-on bags. Document any service failures immediately and demand to speak with a supervisor. Better yet, pay the extra $50 to $100 and fly Southwest or Alaska Airlines instead. Your health and sanity are worth more than their deceptive discounts. Spirit Airlines, where wheelchairs go to die. You see those bright yellow Spirit planes and think budget travel means smart travel. But for seniors, especially those needing mobility assistance, Spirit Airlines is hiding a dangerous secret that could leave you stranded and helpless. Here's what they don't want you to know. Spirit Airlines has been consistently mishandling wheelchairs at a rate of 5.88% in 2023, up from 5.60% in 2022. That means if you're one of 100 wheelchair users flying Spirit, nearly 6 of you will have your mobility device damaged, delayed, or destroyed. To put this in perspective, that's nearly 3 times the industry average. Think about it. Your wheelchair isn't just luggage. It's your legs, your independence, your ability to move through the world. Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth, who lost both legs in the Iraq War, puts it perfectly. People don't realize that this is a part of my body. If this is broken, you've broken my legs. But it gets worse. Recent complaints from seniors describe nightmarish situations where their wheelchairs went missing entirely, leaving them stranded at airports with no mobility assistance and no meaningful follow-up from Spirit's customer service. One passenger filed a complaint describing being publicly humiliated by gate agents when seeking help for their missing mobility device, with staff dismissing their concerns and offering no solutions. Here's the really disturbing part. Spirit's customer service approach seems specifically designed to make you give up. Multiple travelers report being put on hold for hours, transferred between departments that can't help, and ultimately being told that the equipment they desperately need is simply lost in the system with no timeline for recovery. Wrong to think Spirit's low prices make up for this treatment. When you factor in their a la carte pricing structure, that $39 base fare quickly becomes $200 or more once you add basic necessities. They charge $3 for water, require credit cards only, and even charge for basic seat assignments. For seniors on fixed incomes who budget carefully, these surprise costs can be financially devastating. But here's the kicker. Spirit advertises wheelchair assistance services, but passengers report that the airline often fails to have properly trained staff available. Seniors describe being handled roughly during transfers with staff who clearly haven't been trained on proper mobility assistance techniques. Some passengers have been injured during these transfers, turning what should be helpful service into a safety hazard. The most shocking part? Spirit's wheelchair damage statistics suggest they may not even be properly tracking the total number of wheelchairs they transport. The data raises serious questions about whether they're accurately reporting incidents or systematically underreporting the scope of the problem. What to do? Avoid Spirit entirely if you use any mobility assistance. If you absolutely have no choice, document everything with photos and videos before checking your wheelchair. Demand to speak with a complaint resolution official immediately if any issues arise, and file DOT complaints for every single incident. Consider travel insurance that specifically covers mobility device replacement and emergency accommodation costs. American Airlines, the $50 million disaster. American Airlines runs those patriotic commercials about taking care of travelers and honoring those who serve. But behind their polished marketing lies one of the most shocking disability discrimination scandals in aviation history, and seniors are bearing the brunt of their failures. Here's what happened. From 2019 through 2023, American Airlines mishandled more than 10,760 wheelchairs and mobility scooters, earning them a record-breaking $50 million federal fine from the Department of Transportation. To put that in perspective, this fine was 25 times larger than any previous penalty for disability violations in aviation history. Wrong to think this was just paperwork errors or minor inconveniences. The Department of Transportation investigation uncovered cases of unsafe physical assistance that at times resulted in injuries and undignified treatment of wheelchair users. We're talking about seniors being physically hurt by airline staff who were supposed to help them board planes safely. But here's the kicker. In March 2025, American Airlines left a paralyzed passenger named Sam Shivers completely stranded in Phoenix without his wheelchair after it went missing on his flight from Hawaii. When he complained about being unable to move independently, they offered him 10,000 frequent flyer points as compensation. 10,000 points for losing the device that allows him to function in the world. The most shocking part? Transportation Department investigators highlighted a video from Miami International Airport showing American Airlines workers literally sliding a wheelchair down a baggage ramp like a piece of cargo. The wheelchair crashed into the bottom of the chute, flipped over, and skittered across the concrete. They treated someone's legs, someone's independence, like disposable luggage. Here's what's really disturbing. American said fewer than 1 in every 1,000 customers who ask for wheelchair assistance wind up complaining to the airline. But think about this logically. How many seniors have the energy, knowledge, and persistence to navigate the complex complaint process against a major airline? How many just suffer in silence because they don't know their rights or don't have the resources to fight back? But it gets worse. The investigation revealed that American had been one of the worst performers among U.S. airlines in terms of both the total number of wheelchairs mishandled and the rate of mishandling claims. Only Southwest Airlines had more total incidents, but American's rate of damage per wheelchair transported was consistently among the highest in the industry. Wrong to think American has fixed these problems. Despite investing $175 million in infrastructure improvements, recent passenger reports continue to describe inadequate wheelchair assistance, damaged mobility devices, and staff who lack proper training in disability accommodation. The culture of neglect appears to be deeply embedded in their operations. Here's the really shocking revelation. American's settlement with the DOT allows them to credit $25 million of their $50 million fine for investments they claim to have already made in accessibility improvements. Essentially, they're getting a discount on their penalty for discrimination by claiming they were going to make improvements anyway. What to do? If you must fly American, request written confirmation of all disability accommodations at least 72 hours in advance. Film your wheelchair being loaded and unloaded at every airport. Immediately escalate any issues to their complaint resolution official and don't accept generic apologies or minimal compensation. Document everything and consider legal consultation for serious violations. United Airlines, the Silver Wings. Deception. United Airlines used to offer a program called Silver Wings Plus, specifically designed for senior travelers. Sounds promising for older passengers looking for specialized service, right? Think again. This is where United's deception of senior passengers becomes crystal clear. Here's what they're hiding. United quietly discontinued the Silver Wings Plus program for new members years ago, but they're still advertising senior discounts that are practically impossible to actually use. The discounts are only available on select routes, have age restrictions that exclude many seniors, and the savings are laughably small compared to what they promise in their marketing. Wrong to assume their accessibility services work any better than their discount programs. While United claims to offer comprehensive wheelchair assistance, passengers report that you need to notify them at least 48 hours in advance just to get basic mobility help. What happens if you need emergency travel to visit a sick family member or handle a crisis? You're completely out of luck. But here's the really shocking part. United's customer service consistently ranks poorly for responsiveness to senior passenger needs. Their senior discount program requires passengers to be 65 and older, but the discounts only apply to select flights with savings typically ranging from just 5% to 25% off base fares. Compare that to Frontier's advertised 55% discount, and you realize United is barely making an effort to serve senior travelers. Here's what's most frustrating about United's approach. They market accessibility services heavily on their website and in their promotional materials. But passengers consistently report that ground staff and flight attendants often aren't properly trained to handle mobility devices or understand the specific needs of senior passengers. You end up paying premium prices for what amounts to economy-level disability accommodation. But it gets worse. United's Mileage Plus program, which used to offer real benefits for senior members through Silver Wings Plus, now provides minimal value for older travelers who don't fly frequently enough to maintain elite status. The mileage requirements for awards have increased dramatically, making it nearly impossible for seniors on fixed incomes to ever redeem points for meaningful travel. Wrong to think United's international reputation translates to better domestic senior service. Multiple passengers report that United's domestic operations lag far behind their international standards when it comes to serving passengers with special needs. The training and attention to detail that might exist on long-haul international flights simply doesn't exist on their domestic routes where most seniors are traveling. Here's the kicker. United's booking system often fails to properly note accessibility requests made during reservation, leading to confusion and delays at the airport. Seniors arrive expecting assistance that was promised during booking, only to find that airport staff have no record of their needs. What to do? If flying United, call their accessibility desk directly at least 48 hours before travel and get all arrangements confirmed in writing via email. Don't rely on their website booking system for disability services. Arrive at the airport early and immediately confirm your assistance needs with gate agents. Consider flying Delta, Alaska, or Southwest instead for more reliable, senior-friendly service. British Airways, the international nightmare. Think flying internationally with British Airways means getting that famous British service and attention to detail? For seniors, British Airways has become a masterclass in how to make long-haul travel as uncomfortable and problematic as possible. Here's what they don't tell you. British Airways has been ranked at the bottom of long-haul airline tables for customer service, with particularly poor performance in last-minute cancellations. When you're a senior dealing with international travel, medication schedules, and potentially limited flexibility, last-minute cancellations aren't just inconvenient, they can be devastating. But here's the kicker. British Airways has a poor record for explaining delays and passenger rights to travelers. Think about being 65 or older, possibly dealing with health issues, sitting in a foreign airport with no clear information about when your flight might actually depart or what compensation you might be entitled to. The stress alone can be dangerous for seniors with heart conditions or anxiety. Wrong to think their premium pricing means premium service for seniors. Multiple passengers report that BA's cabin environment on long-haul flights has deteriorated significantly, with older aircraft that lack modern amenities and comfort features that seniors particularly need, like accessible lavatories and easy-to-reach storage. Here's what's really shocking. British Airways' customer service response to senior passenger complaints often involves lengthy phone queues and complex complaint procedures that seem designed to discourage follow-up. For seniors who may not be comfortable navigating complex digital systems or spending hours on hold, this creates an effective barrier to getting problems resolved, but it gets worse. BA's boarding process has become increasingly chaotic, with insufficient assistance for passengers who need extra time or help with carry-on luggage. Seniors report feeling rushed and unsupported during boarding, which can be particularly dangerous when dealing with mobility issues or heavy medical equipment. What to do? Consider Virgin Atlantic, Lufthansa, or other European carriers for better senior service. If you must fly BA, purchase travel insurance that covers medical emergencies and trip interruptions, and always have backup plans for medication access during potential delays. Ryanair, the budget nightmare. Ryanair markets itself as Europe's favorite airline, but for seniors, it represents everything wrong with the race-to-the-bottom approach to air travel. Their treatment of older passengers reveals a systematic disregard for basic comfort and dignity. Here's what they're hiding. Ryanair consistently ranks at the bottom of customer service ratings, with particularly poor scores for seat comfort, boarding experience, food quality, and cabin cleanliness. For seniors who may need additional comfort during flights or have specific dietary requirements, Ryanair's approach is simply hostile. But here's the shocking part. Ryanair passengers regularly report finding leftover trash from previous flights in seat pockets and on floors. For seniors with compromised immune systems or cleanliness concerns, this creates genuine health risks. The airline's quick turnaround times mean minimal cleaning between flights. Wrong to think their low prices make up for poor treatment. Ryanair's additional fees for basic services can quickly make their budget fares more expensive than full-service airlines. They charge for seat selection, priority boarding, and even water services that seniors often need most. Here's the kicker. Ryanair provides virtually no explanation for delays or passenger rights information. When flights are canceled or delayed, seniors are often left in foreign airports with no clear guidance about their options or entitlements. What to do? Avoid Ryanair entirely if you're over 65. The stress and discomfort aren't worth any potential savings. Consider EasyJet, Vueling, or full-service carriers for European travel instead. The industry-wide cover-up think this is just about a few bad airlines? Wrong. The entire industry has been systematically discriminating against seniors, and the statistics prove it. Here's what they don't want you to know. In 2023 alone, airlines mishandled 11,527 wheelchairs and scooters. That's 31 mobility devices damaged every single day. Passenger complaints hit record levels in 2024, jumping 9%, while passenger numbers only increased 4%. But here's the kicker. Airlines experienced 437 tarmac delays of 3 hours or more in 2024, the most since 2010. For seniors with medical conditions, being trapped on a plane for hours isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. The most shocking part? 1 in 10 people with disabilities avoid flying entirely due to fear of bodily harm or wheelchair damage. Airlines have literally scared seniors away from travel through systematic mistreatment. What to do? Document everything, know your Air Carrier Access Act rights, and file DOT complaints for every violation. The hidden costs, they don't mention. You think that cheap ticket price is saving you money? Airlines are hitting seniors with hidden fees that can double your travel costs. Here's what they're hiding. Budget airlines charge extra for everything. Spirit charges $3 for water and only accepts credit cards. Multiple seniors report paying for seat upgrades only to find their seats given away, with airlines offering tiny vouchers instead of refunds. But here's the kicker. Advertised senior discounts have restrictions that exclude exactly the flights seniors want: holidays, optimal weather, family visits. Airlines use deceptive pricing that specifically targets seniors with fake urgency and inflated regular prices. The most shocking part, airlines charge for services that were previously free, and these changes hurt seniors most. Checked baggage fees, seat selection fees, even phone booking fees punish seniors who aren't comfortable online. What to do? Calculate total costs including all fees before booking. Take screenshots of prices and terms. Use credit cards with dispute protection. Consider paying more for honest airlines with better senior service records. Conclusion. So there you have it. 7 airline seniors should avoid in 2025. Frontier with record complaints. Spirit destroying wheelchairs. American's $50 million discrimination fine. United's broken senior programs. British Airways service failures. Ryanair's bottom-tier approach, and an industry-wide conspiracy to exploit seniors. Here's the truth. Knowledge is power. Airlines don't want you knowing these statistics because informed seniors make different choices. When you know Frontier has triple the complaints or that Spirit destroys 6% of wheelchairs, you can protect yourself. The most shocking part? Airlines bet that seniors won't fight back or share information. They're wrong. Share this with every senior traveler you know. Comment your airline horror stories. Subscribe because we're exposing the travel industry's dirty secrets that affect seniors every day.